Hello, everybody of the Living in the Truth of the Present Moment group. I was thinking of giving 2017 predictions, and since so many of you love what I did before and even took it to the point of taking it personal and offensive, I thought I'd do something different. So we have a surprise guest today, and it is our one and only and benevolent teacher. I think that's the word. Hearty teacher. And let's surprise each other and experience what is now together. So I'm going to be asking and talking to Ram. So let's get with it. All right, enough of me. All right, here's Ram. And it's good to be with you, Ram.
Good to be with you, Narayana.
Yes, I'm sure everybody's happy to see you in your home setting, and maybe we could get down to the truth for once.
Sure, we can cut to the chase.
Let's see. This isn't planned, so I'm going to try to ask questions that the group might have want answered and haven't been answered. So, okay, one thing that comes to my mind first is, like I asked about mistakes in my life. Do we really make any mistakes, even though it feels like we do? And those mistakes seem to affect the way things are now. Are there really mistakes?
No, there's no such thing as mistakes. We don't make mistakes, we just experience our karma. And sometimes maybe we think our karma could have been, quote, better, but it is what it is. And our entire past was karma. It couldn't have been any other way. Everything happened as it had to for us to learn the lessons that we need to learn, which is what karma is all about, actually, is to learn from, develop from.
Can karma because of past actions, can your karma make now difficult?
I don't know. I don't experience now being difficult.
Some people do.
Yeah, but I don't know how centered in the present moment those people are. I think if you're really centered in the present moment, life just flows from one moment to the next. You'd have to think about it in a judgmental way in order to experience it as difficult.
So anybody under any circumstances, if they're in the present moment, life won't be difficult.
Not if you're truly in the present, because you aren't busy describing things to yourself. You have to describe things to yourself in a negative way in order to experience difficulty.
But aren't things already seem negative? Like, for instance, me losing all my money, to anybody that would be negative. Someone having to live in a wheelchair, anyone would think and consider that a negative, because it took away from what was lively at one time, what was able to give you more ability to do things like money, or lively where you were able to walk before you wound up in a wheelchair. Or aren't there set negativities that are in us that are obviously difficult no matter how you see it?
No.
There's nothing. A guy goes to war and loses a leg. Now he's going to come back, not like he used to be.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of sorrow to his family, his wife,
Yeah.
his kids. Isn't that a condition that's difficult and kind of negative, even if you try to be positive?
Well, it's different than it used to be. Different than it could have been. He probably looks down at his missing leg and said, "Gee, this sucks. I wish I had no leg." But I think people tend to adjust to whatever is. And I've known people who went from an active lifestyle to being in a bad car accident, who lived in a wheelchair after that, and I guess it just depends on how you learn to think.
So karma can force you and upgrade your thinking about anything. Karma is the teacher to
Yeah,
almost force you.
karma is our teacher that teaches us through experience. We learn a great deal through experience. But facing our karma makes us stronger and smarter and increases our understanding and increases tolerance and endurance. And some people take an incarnation to develop those things. And the guru used to say it's very important to develop endurance and tolerance to things. And then people have to experience all sorts of things in life. But under the harshest circumstances, like over in Africa or Middle East, where weird things are going on and they're being bombed and whatever, or they're starving, and I don't know if they're busy thinking about life being hard. It might never occur to them. It's just the way life is.
Yeah, I often felt that if you're born into a situation, that's your norm, no matter what it is, and you could almost feel like you can move in any direction, especially if you're born in a difficult situation.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people were born in difficult situations and managed to get themselves out.
And they're almost even more appreciative because they're in a difficult situation, and any little change for the seeming better seems great to them, even if it's simple.
Appreciation is a good thing to develop. Gratitude.
You appreciate everything?
I did. I appreciate the way life has turned out.
You appreciate your students?
Of course.
Every one of them?
Well, there are 2 or 3 that I'm kind of pissed off at, But no, I think they're all great beings.
Do you see some making more progress than others?
Some are more capable of improving than others. Some are more capable of growth.
Why is that?
That's determined by karma.
Not determined by how much they get into the lessons and practicing the principles?
Well, it seems that people who get into the lessons and actually practice the principles have pretty good lives. Or at least they appreciate and enjoy their lives as they are. Probably any life can be enjoyed. Unless we find things wrong with it. See, I don't find any value in finding things wrong with my life.
You don't see anything wrong. When you have your heart problems, you don't ever have the slightest thought that something is going wrong.
It's just heart problems. Gotta get it taken care of.
But there's no sense of anything going wrong.
No, it's just the body. Especially an aging body, things are gonna happen. But it's conditioning to see something is going wrong. It's just as easy to see it as it's going the way it's meant to go. Going the way it's supposed to go. Why not?
Can you laugh at anything?
Pretty much, but there's some things I would choose to not laugh at.
Like what?
Well, if I got bad news about my children, for example, or one of them, or I would have natural human reactions.
But are they how you really feel? Is human reactions over a karmic situation that you say karma, it's only karma? Why would a human reaction to something like that be real if it's all just karma?
Because it just happens. I mean, if I got a call saying my son's been in an accident, I would feel bad. And there's no reason to not feel bad. But there's nothing going wrong that I feel bad. It's just, that's what happens. That's the way life is.
That's the human response?
Yeah, that's the human response.
You like being a human being?
It's okay for now. I wouldn't want it forever.
But won't you keep coming back? And
I might not. Might decide to be a tiger next.
can you really choose the body you go into?
I don't know. I'll let you know when I find out.
Will I recognize you as a tiger?
I'll wink at you. Narayana, it's me. Don't be
Just
fooled.
don't bite.
Don't be fooled by this appearance.
Let's see. Do you think women make more progress than men, or is it equal?
It's pretty equal.
Doesn't it seem like women are more intelligent than men?
I've never said that.
I didn't say you said it. Doesn't it seem?
No.
A lot of people say women are older, like men are not as mature as women at the same age.
Well, they can't take a joke. But, truly speaking, it depends on the individual. There are a lot of women that are more intelligent than a lot of men. But there are a lot of men more intelligent than a lot of women. I don't think it really depends on the sex. It's an individual thing.
Everybody will be happy hearing that.
I hope so. I don't hate to offend anyone.
What is it that the students of the course are not getting? Is there anything that, since writing, and questions students ask, they don't seem to have gotten it yet? Something that you might feel you have to repeat over and over that we haven't gotten yet, that is essential to get. One kind of essential thing.
One thing, I don't think we've really gotten that the mind is creative and that thought creates perception and experience. If we did, we would think only what we want and only what's pleasant and not consider what we don't want or what is unpleasant. And most of us have that understanding intellectually by now, and to various degrees we apply it in our own life. But it's really hard to get that every thought is potentially creative, and that all experiences and situations and conditions have their origin in thought. It's hard to understand that, no matter how many times we hear it repeated.
Right. I don't feel I've gotten it. And I've been with you like 45 years, listening to you talk, just being around you. 45 years. I'm 64. So 20 years, well, maybe conditioning is longer than that, but 45 years of truth in this body. And I feel like I still haven't gotten it yet. Why? How can you be around truth? I read so much of it. And why that principle so simple I can't get?
Why not just feel like you've already got it?
Well, I've gotten it in, like you said, understanding and on some level, but...
So appreciate the understanding that you have. Have gratitude for understanding what you do. Don't think about what you haven't got or what you don't understand.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, no reason to think that way.
And that'll make it even easier?
Yeah, everything's easy unless you make it a problem.
How come I feel like this moment is the same moment over and over? Like, I've heard this, we've spoken about it, you write a course for thousands of years, and you're hearing the same thing, and it feels new, but it doesn't feel new.
We've probably been hearing the same thing for thousands of years. We recognize truth when we hear it.
Why are we so slow to get it?
That's human nature. That's what the human incarnation is all about. We learn at a certain rate. And we can't learn any faster than we learn. We just have to be content with the rate we're going. But it's even better not to think about having to get somewhere or going somewhere or having to improve or getting something. It's better to just be content with the way things are.
You say be content with the way things are, yet I have a friend, people have friends, even our own lives that are kind of difficult. Like we're in cities, we have jobs, just getting by. Health can be a problem. How can you really be content with situations that press on you and it doesn't... I mean, you could accept your karma cheerfully, but who wants to accept that kind of karma cheerfully? I mean, yeah, you do, but most of us don't feel like certain karma or our lives are where we thought it could have been. Like I'm 64, I have a friend, and we all thought that maybe by this time it could have been more creative expression of life, more giving of something, that it hasn't turned out that way. How can you be content if you feel like your life didn't quite go to a place where...
Well, why think that way?
Because it's the situation now has the karma that it's difficult karma. So it's not like, why think that way? It's like...
Well, I think it's difficult. I mean, you're describing it as difficult.
Okay, I got a friend who has to do a job. Her hips hurt, yet she has to do a physical job. She lives in a difficult neighborhood where there's a lot of violence, a lot of noise, and I know about that too. It is difficult. It's just the obvious condition. You live in a quiet place. Anyone could say, well, you're saying that because, you're not in those situations.
Well, we all have our own karma. I mean, but Baba said to be content with the way you are is equal to being enlightened. So why think about how it could be better?
So that thought of how it could be better is what's preventing a person, even in difficult karma, to be content?
Exactly.
Exactly?
Yeah. Why not just assume everything's going exactly the way it's planned?
Even if the karma doesn't feel good?
It's up to you how you feel. It's up to how you think. Your thoughts determine your feelings. If you think of yourself being happy, you'll be happy. If you think of yourself being content, you'll be content.
No matter what the karma is.
If you think life is difficult, it's going to be difficult no matter how it is.
You're saying that the thought of being happy and okay and difficult karma will get you away from the difficulty of the karma? Or make you experience something beyond that karma?
Well, first of all, you'd start experiencing your karma differently. And secondly, if you really maintained a state of gratitude and appreciation, your karma would probably improve. You get new and improved karma. Because the karma rearranges itself according to your own state and your own understanding of things.
But does karma ultimately matter at all? You say you new and improved karma, but if karma doesn't matter, does it matter if it changes?
No, not really. It's just different karma.
So there's really, you could say there's really no better karma than any other karma?
Ultimately, yeah, karma is just karma.
And it's best...
Neither good nor bad.
And if you live in a place thinking that, then all karma is equal.
Yeah.
That's positively.
You can prove it true for yourself.
I've tried to, but I haven't fully yet.
You're doing okay. You're doing better than you think.
And if I think better, I'll do better.
If you think better, you'll do better. Exactly.
All right. What would you give a message for 2017? We're moving into it. What is a brief thing that's the most important to remember moving into a new year?
Love yourself. Be happy.
And
if you love yourself and you be happy and content with the way things are, no matter how it is, you'll experience life as good. If you find something wrong, find things to complain about, you'll experience life as difficult. It all depends on our attitude.
Attitude.
But it's important to love and respect yourself. That's probably the most important thing.
Do you love and respect yourself totally?
These days I do, yeah. Why not? There's not much to gain approaching it any other way. Most people are too hard on themselves.
All right, Ram. All right, yeah.
Okay, very yeah.
So, Happy New Year. Wasn't that a lot better than listening to predictions? See you all. I hope you enjoy it and take it to heart. Bye.